Hey guys, it's P. Isn't travel great and also highly stressful and hard to plan and hard to keep track of everything? Not anymore. I have a solution for you, and that is this Notion planner and tracker that is perfect for handling all the traveling woes. There's a link in the description below so that you can get this template for yourself and start using it right away. Just let me walk you through it really quickly first. I always like to start out with the fact that Notion, of course, allows you to customize nearly everything, which can be really good and also sort of overwhelming depending on how long you've been using it. But no worries. We'll work this out together. Once you get this template for yourself, definitely make it your own by changing the cover image or the icon. I've been a big fan of Notion's new native icons that they released. You can also, of course, do emojis. I just kind of like the minimalist vibe. Ew. So how we'll do this today is high-level overview of the different pieces of the travel dashboard is what we'll call it. And then we'll dive into them. Okay, so first things first, the upcoming trips. So here's your travel plans. We have upcoming, which is anything dated after today. And then I also have coded in here a countdown, which is nice because you can see right away how many days you have left to procrastinate if you're like me with planning trips. Then we have completed trips. So I'll show you more about like how this works, but essentially once you have gone on a trip, you can easily click an archive checkbox and then it will just move over into here, so you can always reference it in the future. Next, we'll move into this little sidebar, okay, which I have set up as Times Square, something really generic. This is merely aesthetic. It's intended for you to just put a place here that sort of means something to you or is a goal of somewhere that you want to go. I will show you how to replace the link for this when we talk about creating a trip. Let's move to the center here. So this is 3 different views of the same database. Future trips. Future trips are specific places that you might want to go at some point. Sort of like a mood board. And then once you do those things, you can click accomplished and feel good. Next, let's talk about country wish list. Keep this in mind, okay? Country wish list and then countries traveled. Like I said, a view of a database, the database being countries over here, just to show you where these things live. Full list. I have personally inputted over 150 countries. So let's talk super quick about how to add a country on this list into your wish list or places we've been. Let's look at Belize. If I want to go here, I'm going to click on bucket list and it will show up in wish list. See? And if I've been to a place, like let's say I've been to China, then you can click traveled and it will show up in bin. This is a really great way to keep track of the places you've been. Let's jump back into the main template. Over here, back on this sidebar above countries, we have travel progress. For those who don't care about states or national parks, feel free to delete this section by clicking this and delete. For those of you who do want to track the states or national parks that you've been to, I have all of the states in alphabetical order. Keep an eye on these circles back here. As you check these off, you're going to see those circles like fill up. National parks, that's another place that I have gone through and added all the pictures for. Same with the other one. You can just sort of click through here and it will reflect in this travel progress view. Let's get really into the whole purpose, which is planning actual trips. Like I said, I'm going to walk through a sample trip that I built, then I'll show you quickly how to build it from scratch when we know the main points. I lived in Colorado/Denver for quite a few years, so this is somewhat legit. There's a couple good recs in here, I think, so feel free to use it if you ever want to visit those places. Like I mentioned, we have the dates, okay? in here. We have the countdown, and then we have archive. This is that checkbox I mentioned that once you're done with this trip and you come back, you can hit archive and it will move into completed trips. So here's another aesthetic piece, this location banner. It actually is interactive, pulled obviously from Google Maps. When we go, I keep telling you I'm gonna tell you how to do it, but when we go over how to build a trip, that's when we'll throw this in there. So now let's talk about these different trip summary toggles. We have overview. Oh, a good Notion tip, by the way, if you don't feel like hitting the little caret arrows, then as long as you're clicked into a word, if you hit Command Enter or Control whatever on Windows, it will automatically open. This is a place where you could get a broad look of the main events on each day of your trip. So for me, I like to put the major events that we might be doing or reservations that we have and where we're staying. Next, we have to-do lists. So I've created various different to-do lists for specific types of trips. Because this is just an example, I already checked things off and it looks like a disaster mess. So we're gonna go into a new trip that's empty. I have pre-travel tasks, packing lists, work stuff, pet proofing the house. Click on them, it will populate. If you want to change something on here, we'll go to configure and then you can add something. I don't know what that would be, but something. And if you hit close, then the next time you generate it, it will be there. Wait till you see camping. This is straight out of REI's website, so you know it's legit. Let's hop back into forecast. So as your trip gets closer, I usually just go to Google or some weather place and I'll screenshot and then just drag the photo in here. This is a quick reference when you are packing, or so that you don't have to keep bringing the weather app up and changing locations on your phone. There is a decent chance that many trips may involve flights. So this is a spot to input the departure and arrival times. Finally, this is a feature I just built in. It's a budget. So it's split up into a few main categories, but you can always add or get rid of one as needed. Just to go over these tabs here, of course, we have category. We have what you want to budget for the trip. How much the actual cost was. This is a formula that basically says if the cost is equal to or less than the budget, then it's going to say in budget. Otherwise, of course, it will say over. So this is an easy way to see, oh, cool, I only spent $1,300 out of $17. Can't relate. All right, now down to the itinerary. This is the point of all points of this, right? It's split into the days of the trip. At the top of the day, you'll see a cost, and that is from any dollar amount that you've inputted that day. We'll discuss in a minute. To go over the properties that are showing, we have, of course, the thing, the date. I have a place for a quick note. For instance, on flights, it's nice to be able to just throw your confirmation number there so that you don't have to go digging through emails. And then, like I said, cost. Checking done will filter it out. If you don't like that and you want to continue to see things even once they're done, then you can come up here to filter and then clear this. See? And it will stay there. For me, I like keeping things really streamlined, and so I only want to see what I'm doing next or haven't done yet, so that's why I have that filter in there. My process of planning a trip. First step is research. I personally love looking at YouTube videos. You're going to do your research. And then you're going to input whatever you found into this bucket list category. So we're going to highlight these, hit the command enter. So we have to chew, to do, and to see. I throw them in here as I go, as I'm watching the videos, getting recommendations. So then when you're planning your days in the itinerary over here, you can go through these different options. So let's say that I'm adding a drift, which by the way, in Denver is an amazing tiki bar. I love it. We can just hit new, okay? Right from here, you can change the icon. I don't know, we'll do a palm tree. It's fun. So we'll make it April 2nd. Memo. Once I input it into that side, I check it off over here. So then I can sort of keep track of what we're planning on doing, what we've done. This is especially useful if you are traveling to multiple cities or staying in many places. Important documents. So you can always embed a PDF into here if you have a document that, or like a receipt. Then we have post-trip checklists, reminders to like journal about it, archive it, so you can add to or get rid of whatever you want there. Let's super quick talk about this calendar. This calendar is another view of this database above, okay? So anytime you put a date into an event up here, it will automatically sync to this calendar view, adrift, on the 2nd. If I click done here, well, it's gonna go away up there, but it'll say done. Likewise, if you click done up here, okay, see, so there's that relation. So let's go over one more thing, and that is the budget. If you plan on utilizing this feature, either at the end of your trip or during, you can come over here into expenses, which again is just another view of that itinerary database. And you'll see all the different things that you've done, and then a column for cost, and then an area for category. All you're gonna do is input the different amounts, add them to a category, put them up here. So drift, like I mentioned, that tiki bar, let's say that I spent $60 there. I would come in here and I'm gonna throw that into entertainment. So then what you're gonna do is hit this search button, go like flights, so it will filter out just flights, that category. The sum will show up here, so all you have to do is come up here and do $289. Then you can move on to lodging. $493. One quick tip for you, which is especially relevant to hotels and such, is when you come down here to itinerary, you'll see that I have boxes for checking into and out of hotels. So for instance, this check into Hyatt, I put the price here, but then you want to make sure that you put $0 when you go to check out. Let's look at lodging real quick. You will see that the purpose is so that you're not double charging yourself and skewing the numbers. So this is another situation that's similar to that. You'll want to only put the cost for something like a rental car in once as well. That concludes discussing the different parts of the actual trip itinerary. Now let's look at how easy it is to create a trip. Automatically, it's set to new trip. This is a template. Set to default. So if you hit new here or new here, doesn't matter. It will pop up with a new trip and it will generate everything that we just saw. Really quickly want to touch on editing a template. So if you come down to this drop down, hit these 3 dots and then edit, then this will come up. It'll say you're editing a template. You will be able to make edits from here. My number one tip with editing templates for things like this is to try to do all your edits before you start building your different trips. The changes you make in the body of the template down here, they will not reflect on existing trips, only the new ones moving forward. So let's build a new trip. We're gonna hit new, right? It'll pop up, and let's do Austin, Texas. Is there like a cactus one? Is there a hat? Oh, you know what? We'll do guitar. I don't know. We have a lot of music here. So of course add a cover image, because that's what makes it fun, is all the personalization that you can do. All right, now I'm finally gonna let you in on the secret of how to change out this banner. So first what you want to do is come into Google Maps, and we're going to go ahead and put Austin, Texas. Great. Now if you hit share, this link comes up. We're going to hit copy and then bounce back into here. And then we're going to hit more actions right here. Replace, And then all you have to do is paste that and hit embed map. And then look at that. You can resize it. And so one more point is, assuming that a lot of these trips start with a flight, that is why I have that there. If they don't, of course, just delete it. Another note is that I have it so that this template is automatically set up for 7 days. If you need another day, you just come right here and you call it day whatever. If you need fewer days, then you of course come here and delete. There you have it, guys, the travel dashboard. If you like this template, there is of course a link in the description via Gumroad where you can find this and other templates that I have already and will in the future release. So you can get this travel planner completely free through that. There's also an option, if you really like it, to throw me a couple bucks for like coffee, which I love. It's much appreciated because these things do take quite a few hours to build. So I appreciate you watching. As always, I'm here for any questions you might have. Comment them below or send me an email, and subscribing is also free. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in a minute on my next video in months. Just kidding, hopefully not. Bye.